أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ويقول الإنسان أإذا ما مت لسوف أخرج حيا أولا يذكر الإنسان أنا خلقناه من قبل ولم يك شيئا فوربك لنحشرنهم والشياطين ثم لنحضرنهم حول جهنم جثيا. So the last passage was a you can say a description or a form of contemplation and reflection over the passage before, which was about the prophets. So the last passage was a contemplation and reflection over that, about the different nations that came, the pious amongst them who accepted the deen and the message of the prophets, and those who didn't do so, and about the punishments or rewards of either or. Now in the next passage, it is more direct to the Quraysh. The message is more direct to the Quraysh and to the people of Mecca, in which Allah Ta'ala says, وَيَقُولُ الْإِنسَانُ أَإِذَا مَا مِتُّ لَسَوْفَ أُخْرَجُ حَيًّا. A disbelieving man says, a disbelieving is obviously the addition by the translator. However, that is a part of the tafsir, which is that it is the people of disbelief who say this, that the disbelieving men say, can it be that when I have died, I shall again be brought forth alive? And this is their question, which was a form of, denying of the power of Allah Ta'ala, that is it really possible that we will be brought back to resurrection? They didn't believe in the resurrection and they denied it. Now, obviously this goes back to the beginning of the surah as well, with Zakaria alayhi salatu wasalam, but the difference being that the people of disbelief are asking this question in a manner by which they are denying the perfection of the qudra, the power of Allah. When Zakaria alayhi salatu wasalam was questioning whether Allah Ta'ala could bring life out of his progeny, it wasn't out of denying of his power. It was more out of trying to understand the power of Allah Ta'ala and trying to marvel upon the power of Allah Ta'ala. So the approach is different. The disbelievers say that will we be brought to life, will be taken out of the grave and brought to life. لَسَوْفَ أُخْرَجُ حَيًّا. And so then Allah Ta'ala says, Allah Ta'ala then answers with a question to the question in a form of reflection and contemplation. أَوَلَا يَذْكُرُ الْإِنسَانُ أَنَّا خَلَقْنَاهُ مِنْ قَبْلُ وَلَمْ يَكُ شَيْئًا. Does man not remember that we indeed created him before and he was nothing? Now, we all know it's easy to make something out of something, but to bring something out of nothing, right, this is very difficult. So if Allah Ta'ala could bring us out of nothing into existence, then shouldn't it be easier for Allah, even though it's the same, right? For Allah Ta'ala Al-Qadir, it's the same to bring something out of nothing or bring something out of something. There's no difference, right? But Allah Ta'ala is still answering them in a logical format, which is use your own mind. If it was easy, if Allah Ta'ala was able to bring you out of non-existence, then for Allah Ta'ala to resurrect you after you already lived, that should be even easier. فَوَرَبِّكَ لَنَحْشُرَنَّهُمْ وَالشَّيَاطِينَ ثُمَّ لَنُحْضِرَنَّهُمْ حَوْلَ جَهَنَّمَ جِثِيًّا. Now obviously though, the questions before were more of a rhetorical sense. Now Allah Ta'ala further says, then by your Lord, as for the disbelievers, we shall most surely round them up, as well as the Satans. Then most surely we shall fetch them around hell on their knees, that we will resurrect them with the shayateen. Right? This is the Messenger of Allah said, Al-mar'u ma'a man ahab. The person is the one who he will be resurrected with those who he loves. Right? Man tashabbaha biqawmin fahuwa minhum. Those people who ally and associate themselves with the people will be resurrected with them. If you align and associate your beliefs with the ideas of the shaitan, which the shaitan prompts you towards, then you will be resurrected with the shayateen. And this is to embarrass the Quraysh, that if you do not change your way, then you will be resurrected amongst the shayateen and with the devils and the shayateen. Then we will make you present. ثُمَّ لَنُحْضِرَنَّهُمْ. And this is obviously a very, in a very bold and strong manner of language. لَنُحْضِرَنَّهُمْ, that we will make you present around Jahannam in a manner by which you will be kneeling. Now Allah Ta'ala said in another place in the Quran, وَتَرَى كُلَّ أُمَّةٍ جَاثِيَةٍ, that in the place of the mahshar you will see people that they are all kneeling. There's a difference though. The difference is that the people of the mahshar will be kneeling out of awe of the greatness of Allah. While in this ayah the people are kneeling out of embarrassment around Jahannam. And the next ayah Allah Ta'ala says, ثُمَّ لَنَنْزِعَنَّ مِن كُلِّ شِيعَةٍ أَيُّهُمْ أَشَدُّ عَلَى الرَّحْمَنِ عِتِيًّا. We shall pluck from every faction whichever of them was most intense in defying the All-Merciful. We will select from every group of these disbelievers. Then even from the disbelievers, they had people who were, more intense in their denying of Allah Ta'ala. So you have, the Egyptians, and you have the Pharaoh. You have the people of the Quraysh, and you have Abu Jahl, the leader of them. So referring to people like Abu Jahl, that Allah Ta'ala will then firstly take out these people from these groups of disbelievers. And how beautiful Allah Ta'ala says, أَشَدُّ عَلَى الرَّحْمَنِ عِتِيًّا, that these people were fighting and they were trying to transgress against Rahman. Right? The name coming in specific for what? What is the Rahman deserving in response? To be thanked. If He's Rahman, merciful to you, you should be thankful to Him. Right? But in response to that, what an embarrassment! Allah did this, so many goodnesses and rahmat, merciful actions to you, and instead you respond to Him with utu, with transgression. ثُمَّ لَنَحْنُ أَعْلَمُ بِالَّذِينَ هُمْ أَوْلَى بِهَا صَلِيًّا. Then assuredly it is we who are most knowing about all of those who are most deserving of roasting within it. Meaning, after the main people of the Quraysh will be thrown into the fire of Jahannam, then the people watching will say, you know what, these people will take the punishment of ourselves. Thankfully Abu Jahl is going in first, then we won't have to go in. So Allah Ta'ala is saying, if you are going to follow Abu Jahl, you'll be the same. And then one by one, may Allah Ta'ala protect all of us. Then one by one, who's more worthy of being thrown into the fire of Jahannam will be thrown after that. وَإِن مِّنكُمْ إِلَّا وَارِدُهَا. And this was a ayah, the next ayah was an ayah which all of the companions feared very much. وَإِن مِّنكُمْ إِلَّا وَارِدُهَا. And there is none of you human beings but shall come to it. It is with your Lord and inevitably decree. The reason why the Sahaba were afraid of this ayah, because of the umum and generalization within it, which is that everyone will go to the fire of Jahannam. However, what is meant by this is that everyone will pass by the fire. Right? And we ask Allah Ta'ala salama, that everyone will pass by the fire. When people will go over the bridge of the Sirat, they will literally be passing right over the fire of Jahannam. Literally be passing right over the fire of Jahannam. And so everyone will have to make that pass. كَانَ عَلَى رَبِّكَ حَتْمًا مَقْضِيًّا. This has been decreed by Allah Ta'ala, it will take place. ثُمَّ نُنَجِّي الَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا. However, then in the next ayah Allah Ta'ala says, then we shall deliver those who have been God-fearing. We shall protect, save those people who are God-fearing by giving them the capability to cross the bridge of Sirat. وَنَذَرُ الظَّالِمِينَ فِيهَا جِثِيًّا. But we shall leave the godless wrongdoers in it on their knees. That those people who transgressed and they did wrong, those people we shall allow them to fall within the fire of Jahannam. May Allah Ta'ala protect us. In the next ayah Allah Ta'ala says, وَإِذَا تُتْلَى عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتُنَا بَيِّنَاتٍ قَالَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَيُّ الْفَرِيقَيْنِ خَيْرٌ مَقَامٌ وَأَحْسَنُ نَدِيًّا. That whenever our revealed verses are recited to them with all clarity, those who have disbelieved invariably say to those who believe, which of the two groups of ours or yours, is of a better station in the world and appears the fairer company. Again, when the ayat would be recited to the people of the Quraysh would say, there's no reason for us to listen to these ayat. We have siyada, we are the leaders. We have, Allah Ta'ala has given us tarafuh fil aish. We have a good life. We have all the, the luxuries that the other people don't have. Why should we follow these people? Right? The followers of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam are who? Bilal radiallahu anhu. People who you have from them the weak and you have the strengthful, right? So then, why should we follow these people? And this is still a people of disbelief will still make this a reason for not believing until today as well. That socially and by economy, the people of belief necessarily don't have something so special in this world. So why should we follow them? Why should we follow the way of the people of the believers if socially and economically they don't have anything that's so special? So that's not the metric by which we decide who's successful and not successful. Being successful in this world is a plus, not necessarily what is necessitates success. So Allah Ta'ala says to them that وَكَمْ أَهْلَكْنَا قَبْلَهُمْ مِنْ قَرْنٍ, that, O people of Quraysh, why don't you think yourselves that yet how many of a disbelieving generation before them we have destroyed for ungodliness, whum ahsanu athathan wa ri'ya, we destroyed them for ungodliness, who were far fairer worldly in furnishing and appearance, referring to the Egyptians. Go back to the Egyptians. They had a society which was far more complex than your society, O people of Quraysh. Or go back to the Ad and the Thamud. Right? These were people who also had a very complex life. And this is something very important to go back to. That go back to history now. People of progression, we think we're progressive, in America or wherever we are in the Western world. We think we're very progressive, and we think we're going ahead in a way that the people before us cannot reach us. This is a deception. Allah Ta'ala, every human being from Adam till the last, has given them a form of technology, has given them a form of life which is befitting of them. Some people have higher forms of capabilities in certain times, and some people have less. Right? There are capabilities which the nations before us had, knowledge which the nations before us had, which we don't have today. Right? So just because we're ahead of them in time doesn't mean necessarily that we're living a better life than they are. And so go back to history itself and see that there were also people who had good furniture, had a good lifestyle, right? They had a beautiful appearance, but Allah Ta'ala destroyed them. Why? Because they were not people of godliness. They were not people of Allah Ta'ala. May Allah Ta'ala grant us understanding of these ayat. We'll stop here and continue from the next ayat in the future halaqah, inshaAllah. May Allah Ta'ala grant us the capability to practice these ayat. Sadaqallahu al-azim, subhanallah bihamdihi, subhanakallah bihamdik. أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك اللهم ونتوب إليك جزاكم الله خيرا.